It's the Wickersham Leaders Show with today's episode, Art's in the Right Place. Hello everybody, welcome back. It's good to see you all again today as, well, it's been a long time since I've done an art stream, hasn't it? It's about time that I got back into it, and just in time to do some art for Christmas time, huh? I've got a comic that I want to do real quick, as well as a Secret Santa picture that I need to complete, so, make sure I'll have something ready for that for tomorrow. But for today, we're just going to be doing this one picture, huh? Should be relatively easy enough, I don't know, come to think of it. Anyways, let me just pull up the window. Ah, here it is. A classic, right? Well, kind of hard to tell, I guess. So for once I actually have the sketch ready beforehand, but what I do need to do is I need to shrink the sketches a little bit because they're supposed to be chat boxes. But the text boxes can't really be read if they're taking up so much of the screen. Hello, Celeste. Good to see you. Let me just get these to be a better size. That should work. Twitter is now banning links to other social media platforms and banning any accounts made to promote said platforms. Does that count Twitch? Oh boy. That's a little worrisome. Let me check my Twitter. What am I linking to? The only thing I have linked is Twitch. So, it should be okay. Maybe Twitter is going downhill, huh? Well, it was bound to happen eventually, wasn't it? Insta and Facebook are hard banned. Wonder why. Alright, let's do another sketch. Yeah, I can imagine. That's, it's a little bit sad, isn't it? Lots of streamers, tubers, and artists promote instas on their pages. Yeah, that's true. I wonder where people will have to go if not on Twitter anymore. little too big. Let me try... That's better. And let's get our present actually designed properly here with the lines we want to make, because if your setup isn't the best, you'll suffer when making the rest of it. Ugh. Well, I need this art to relax me, honestly. But that's not easy. A dating sim marathon? Wow. Does Darian know? He's okay with you dating all those guys? So you're gonna start with Danganronpa. And then Persona 5. Wait, I remember this music. This was in Toontown Rompa. Shinji is a furry confirmed. Oh, yeah? Hold on. Where is it? There was this song I wanted to put in. I just had it. Oh, yeah. Makes you think of Parappa. That's interesting. I've never had Parappa. Well, I am a Toon from Toontown, so that's what I actually am if you're interested. Do you think I need the hands, Celeste? What do you think? Do I need the hands here? Do you think I could get away with maybe not putting it in there? Some people hold the box from the bottom. Yeah. I'm just wondering if it looks weird. Well, I guess we'll leave it like that. You know, I used to think that Persona and Danganronpa were like the same series. Or did you replacement pen for your drawing pad? Oh right, you're still in what is it, Florida? Wisconsin. Oh. I was way off. Been to Florida since you were 10. What'd you do in Florida when you were 10? Disney World? Two weeks for Disney and Universal. Oh wow, you went to both. You return with Nog. Ooh. Huh, we fit. Come here to visit your mom's side of the family every year because it's closer and easier. What's your favorite Disney ride? Names them with them, if the ones I go to even exist anymore. Do you remember any of them? Maybe I can help out. I mean, I went there last year. Gonna be around for the Stitch ruining the park event. Oh, wow. Yeah, that ride's gone. Stitch's Great Escape is now where the monster's laugh floor is. This sounds familiar. It's from Pokemon X and Y. Snowbell City, but it's the anime version. Whoops. Maybe I can lock... No. I love that song. If the video can't be embedded, that means you can't play on other websites than YouTube, and it won't work on Nightbot. Oh, I remember a song I could use. Let me try this. Hello, Puggy. How are you doing today? Still doing raffles? Well, people weren't showing up for them, and art takes a long time for me nowadays with my new style. Maybe I'll do one tomorrow, because I won't have another art piece to do. Actually, no, I have to do another art piece for the new year. Gotta remember to do that one. Finished watching the World Cup? Oh, who won? Argentina. Oh, congrats, Argentina. I don't really know anything about soccer players except for Beckham and Pele. I don't know anything about sports. Sometimes you just you just learn things. try to fix this neck shoulder thing. I haven't played Tomodachi Life in such a long time, to think about it. Gets boring pretty fast. You gotta make it, yeah, you gotta make it fun. Amaranth is streaming too. Who's Amaranth? Hot Tub Girl. Oh. I prefer to stay dry when dealing with technology. That's, you know, that's a me thing. But yeah, that's why Tomodachi Life is great when you can, like, make your own story of it. Which is why all the streamers have a good time. Street Pass was so arrogant. I don't know. Games having the ability to get... A portable system having the ability to connect to other portable systems isn't arrogant. That's like suggesting that a phone is arrogant because you need other phones for it to work. What do you mean the rest of your comment? It says it right there. It depends on people buying their 3DS. People buying their 3DS everywhere. It's a portable device. Bringing it everywhere isn't a huge ask. It's designed to be taken with you everywhere. Phones are more popular and necessary. Well, they're only necessary as long as somebody else has a phone, because if nobody else has a phone, would somebody releasing one and then saying, oh, but you need someone else to have one in order for it to do anything? Heck, the 3DS could also work without the Street Pass at all. You didn't need it for anything. You don't need to play those Street Pass games. No, but some of them are surprisingly fun, yeah. Photos have been around for decades and are necessary for modern society to function. Yes, but my hypothetical there required on the basis that somebody introduced a phone today, or in a position that was comparable to the 3DS launching. Besides, like I said, it's a portable console. It's meant to be taken with you. Well, yes, 3DS is dead now. That's bound to happen. But people carry the Switch everywhere. If there was something like that for the Switch, I wouldn't be upset. Phones are not dead, though. No, they're not. Not thought out of. No, it was thought out of. I mean, it's like when Pokemon gives you the ability to trade. You need somebody else in a different copy of the game in order for it to work. Is that arrogance? I don't think so. And that was back when people had link cables. I don't know what makes it not thought out well. They thought it out plenty well. It works. They thought everyone in the groundbreaking area was just too much to ask. Well, evidently not. You can find tons of people who have managed to, you know, have their 3DS all decked out with all the Street Pass parts. You can't. Well, yeah, but just because not everybody can doesn't mean nobody did. Street Pass exclusive content and games. Oh, well, yeah. That's... I mean, that's something that they had to have known eventually it wouldn't work. But just because it never, you know... Just because it stopped working eventually doesn't mean it wasn't worth doing or that it was short-sighted or anything. They just wanted short-term profit. I don't know about you, but short-term profit isn't usually 7 years. And I don't think anybody really bought the 3DS just for its Street Pass features. People bought the game for things like Pokemon. People bought the 3DS for its software, not to have Street Pass games. Street Pass was a big selling point. It was a point that they talked about, but I know a lot of people didn't buy it for that. In fact, you know, the 3DS sold very poorly during its first year. It didn't start to do well until later 2011 and 2012 when they did the price drop. I still have those Game Boy Advance games on my 3DS. What did it cost originally? I think it was like... Let me see. 3DS launch price. It retailed for $250. And then they slashed it to $170 later that year. No, Street Pass isn't viable unless you live in a big city, I agree. Just because they gave it that functionality doesn't mean that it was short-sighted or arrogant. It's such an optional thing, I never even bothered paying attention to it. Is it short-sightedness to include a game to give a game multiplayer? Is it arrogance for a game to have a multiplayer focus when some people can't find other people to play with? No. That just means it's not going to be for everybody. No game's for everyone. Is it fair to make a game like Pokemon Go when some people can't walk? Well, if you paid money for something that was tied to Street Pass, then that's kind of on you. I mean, you have the opportunities to weigh the pros and cons of purchasing any game. And if the game you buy is enhanced or requires you to play with other people that you can't find, then that's kind of your own fault, isn't it? Street Pass was more than viable. There are tons of metropolitan areas where lots of people had their own ways to play and have fun sharing them with other people. Children in schools would share their things that they got on Street Pass with all their friends. Just because it doesn't work for some people doesn't mean it didn't work for everybody. For anybody, excuse me, not everybody. Anybody. Not every game's gonna work for everybody. To say it's arrogant is, I think, frankly, ridiculous. You keep repeating that it doesn't work for anybody outside of a big city. I'm not even disagreeing with you on that. Well, actually, I am. I am, because people, like kids in schools would play it, and they'd share their street passes with each other. Oh, Congus. Hello, Congus. Good to see you. How are you today? feature was poorly thought out. The feature wasn't poorly thought out. The feature was just created for a certain group of people. And that group of people isn't everybody. Not every, like I said earlier, software or anything isn't made for everyone. Things appeal to different groups of people. Just because that group of people doesn't include you doesn't mean that it wasn't thought out. They make tons of games that have nothing to do for me. They make games that are like, I don't know, puzzle, or that are like guides to help you learn how to cook and stuff like that. I don't need something like that, but that doesn't make it poorly thought out. Why do they keep writing these books for girls? I mean, half the planet isn't even girls. That's foolish of them. They should have considered everyone. It's not sustainable long term. Well, the 3DS lasted for 7, almost 8 years. That's very long term in the tech world. I mean, heck, people having to have their own collections or their own version of something is the basis of trading cards. And games like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Pokemon are still played by loads of people, even though you can't play the trading cards. Because the trading cards require somebody else. That doesn't mean that they're bad, it just means that it's not for me. Most games can last longer than 7 years. Most games don't last longer than 7 years. The games that stand the test of time and last longer than that tend to be paragons in their field. Games like League of Legends or Team Fortress 2, which have long-standing player bases many years after their initial release, are few and far between. There are just as many games that lose their player base over the course of just a few years and tend to fall into obscurity. 7 years is absolutely a long time. Talk about games in general. Well, if you're talking about non-online games, then those games only last as long as the content that they're put in. Donkey Kong Country hasn't received any new content updates since 2003. The 3D function was something that that you could argue wasn't cut out. That's true. No, Pokemon Battles in XY did do the 3D. By Sun and Moon then took them out. And when you turned on the 3D, the FPS slowed to a crawl. Oh, I thought you meant that, like, the 3D slider was just, yeah, it was just off. I'll never forget XY. XY is the first time ever in a Pokemon game which I found a wild, shiny Pokemon. But, as I've told this story many times before, I got very excited and dropped the DS. And I didn't save. It was a shiny Sandslash. Let me ask you, Puggy. Are MMOs poorly thought out? You can't complete them alone. They require the servers to run. And you need to make sure that other people are buying the game too. Oh, you killed a girder by accident. First shiny was an Altaria. Ooh, a shiny Altaria. Now that's a pretty looking shiny Pokemon. That yellow looks nice. I love this song. This is so calming. This is just the thing I needed to hear. Why haven't I played Celeste yet? Never forget the time I dropped my 3DS XL and I had a seizure. The bottom screen turned purple, the top screen the joystick reversed its controls, and the pixels started dying. Ooh, wow. That is quite an experience. So the only thing that's different between the two games is the scale. The live service games with online connectivity versus a live service game that requires you to have other people with the system. You know, before games had online servers, you used to have to go over to a friend's house and do LAN parties. And people still do that. Two of the three. I can't imagine. I mean, I can't imagine. You know what? Sometimes it just so happens that you drop your console the right way, and that right way, that one time, was enough to brick the thing. With a system in your immediate area locally, not just a system. Right. The DS was much in a similar way. It had online functionality, but it was very limited. A 1.5 DS. Have you seen anybody make those GBA micros from the bottom half of a DS? Alright. Let me look up a picture here that might help me. If you could bypass the function somehow, it wouldn't matter as much. What makes that arrogant? What makes it arrogant to make a game that only works when you have other people around you, when you can interact with them locally? Nintendo could see how much the Street Pass functionality was being used, and they still decided to include pay DLC games. Are you sure that they thought that there would never be concerns or issues? Or that it wasn't, or that the way it was developed is, and the way it's working even now was the way it was intended to function? They had to have known that it wouldn't last forever. They intended it to last for the life cycle of the 3DS. Since the DS was such a big success, the 3DS would surely follow in its footsteps, and although there was an initial misstep, the 3DS did get a second wind, and lots of people bought it. And in those people who were in metropolitan areas, they could play these games and have loads of people. They didn't have to know anything. They had a gimmick to convince people to buy it. I don't think Street Pass is the selling point that it's being made out to be in this argument. The gimmick of the 3DS was the 3D, that one was the selling point. But eventually people bought the thing for the software, and a lot of people didn't even turn on the 3D at all. Well, the AR never really got any updates, so that one was clearly something that didn't work for them. They never really saw a use for it. But the Street Pass must have done something, because it got new content. There must have been enough interest for them to decide that people were not only willing to use it, but also to pay to have more games on it. Alright, now I need to get reference images. There they are. Let me just put it over here. Let's start with the hair. Their game should have used AR than Street Pass. I think it really limits the portability of your console if you have to, a console or your game, if you have to pull out a card to use it. That's why the portable versions of Skylanders allowed you to load in your Skylander figurine without actually needing the portal. bring your 3DS case and put cards in it. But that's assuming that the person has a case. Some people are willing to do that, sure. But the question you have to ask is, like the people willing to bring it with them everywhere, is it likely? What's more likely? That people who all have the same console, that people who all have the same portable console will pass by each other with it on to experience Street Pass? Or that a player is willing to take the cards with them when they go out of the house? 3DS was marketed to children. It was marketed towards children. I mean, it's just a game console. It was marketed to everyone. That's assuming people are willing to bring the 3DS everywhere. But people did. That's the thing. People did bring their 3DS everywhere. I know I did, for sure. I brought it with me to school. I brought it with me to anywhere I could. When the 3DS was in use and it was the current platform, people absolutely brought it everywhere with them. Well, no, they didn't bring it in your area, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen, or that it was foolish of Nintendo to think that people would. I'm like, this is some very circular logic. I have to say, you know, I'm feeling as though your argument is that they developed this software that requires other people. They developed this software that requires other people in my local area to function. I don't have anybody in my local area for this to work with. It is therefore their fault, and they are stupid for thinking that anybody would have people in their nearby area. Am I incorrect? In fact, I'm fairly certain that people were... I'm fairly certain that they considered... They probably had at least one instance where a developer said something to the effect of, well, what do we do for the people who aren't able to meet with lots of other people on a daily basis? And then they weighed the pros and the cons of the system, and they decided that it was worth the development time and effort for them to include it because enough people would do it that it would be worth it. There's too many people involved in the process of making a console for any one of those decisions to just be made so foolhardily. Don't care, we like money. But if it didn't work, then it would have failed, right? If the way you're describing it doesn't work, right? You're saying to me that this system is arrogant and foolish and doesn't work. Didn't it work though? If it worked, even if it didn't work in every single case ever, I don't think that means that it failed or that it was arrogant of them to do so. That's an appeal to authority fallacy. Appeal to who authority? What? I'm asking that the results speak to the reason for why it was developed that way. This could have resolved with the rural people bypass. Okay. I want you to just tell me straight up. Do you think this system failed? Do you think this system did not work the way they intended it to work? Hey, T-Rex of the Sea, welcome to the stream. I'm arguing the idea didn't work to its best potential. Okay. Now, this is a different argument than the one we were having before. Do I think that this idea could have been expanded to include more people and get more people involved? Yes. But what I don't think it was foolish, arrogant, not thought out, or stupid. But I know what we are arguing. So, on that point, I agree with you. It was foolish and not thought out because it could have been better. So because something could have been better, it is foolish then for them to choose an option that may not have been the best. Right? That's what you're telling me. Because I feel like 1, 2, 3 is a cool sub count. I have 123 subs? I didn't even realize. I have 664 followers on Twitch. 2 more and we're evil. Okay. Anyone could have seen. And let's say they did see it. Let's say that they saw that and decided that there are enough people in these areas where they will interact with each other that this will work anyway, which is what they ultimately did do. Is that foolish? And if you think it is, how so? Because I'm trying to wrap my head around that. not cooperating, this ear. Because if they wanted to maximize sustainability for the future to as many games as possible, they could have simply added some form of bypass for rural residents who do not have the means to use Street Pass effectively to complete their games that are locked behind Street Pass functionality. If they added a rural bypass, would that not be unfair to the people who lived in these large metropolitan areas who do not get the easy way to get the Street Pass games to function? Would that not be arrogant and unthought out? And if everybody could bypass them, if a solution would be to give everybody the bypass, what would even be the point of the system? It would fail to encourage people to meet each other, and it would fail to use as a work for 3DSs to have a fun way to communicate because people wouldn't be bothering. There's no one to meet in rural areas, and I never met people with Street Pass. You just pass a random dude. Okay. Those dumb minigames cost only $5 each. And if you mean development costs, they certainly don't cost as much as making a full-fledged experience with a heavy piece of hardware. You want a refund. Okay. Well, now we get back to the other question. You were aware that these Street Pass games required people to pass to function, right? You knew that's what the Street Pass system did. You knew this, correct? And if you didn't know this, then what did you think Street Pass minigames would do? The bunny convinced you under duress. I don't think that's a... I don't think that's a very convincing argument, personally. You got scammed. Okay. Scammed is a very big word here. In order for it to actually be a scam, they must have done something to lie to you, or they must have done something that makes it so that the product is not, essentially just it's not what you were told it was going to do. Did they say that these Street Pass games do not require other people? Do these Street Pass games say that you can play them alone without ever interacting with anyone? They didn't tell you would need people from Street Pass to finish the game, despite all of the other games in the Street Pass Plaza requiring other people to finish them. The 2 free games that came with the Street Pass Plaza needed other people. Why would it be different for the other games? If they were standalone titles, you might have more of a point there. They claimed they were crazy cool and innovative. Technically, no, you don't. Well, Celeste, the puzzle game that you need to finish does require other people, because the purple cards can only be gotten from other players. You can never complete those puzzles either. Yeah, no, a lot of people didn't. Okay, you know what? Does a video game have to account for every person? I think this is a more interesting question. Do you think that a video game has to account for every type of person that exists? Most people, it should. Are most people living in rural areas? That is not true. And I can prove that with numbers. In order for a place in the United States to be considered rural, it must have a population of less than 1,500 people per square mile. 1 in 5. Okay, 1 in 5. By definition, that is a minority. Still 20%. Indeed. But that means that 80% of people don't. And if you make a game for 80% of people, well, that's a lot of people. And by your own admission, that the game should appeal to most people. That's assuming those 80% have a DS. That's a different argument altogether. The argument we're having is that if we are making a game for people, and that requires them to connect with each other, would it be better to aim for people, for all kinds of people, or for most people? By your own admission, most people that they should be aiming for does not include that rural area. So, to loop this back around, is it arrogant to make a game for 80% of people? It is most people when you factor in the frequency of the 80% actually bring the 3DS with them consistently outside. But you said yourself that people in rural areas do not do that, and that you struggled to find anybody who does do that. So who do you think are the populations of people more likely to carry their 3DS with them? To meet people on Street Pass? The people who interact with a lot more people? Or the people who make up only 3% of the land area? Indeed. But the amount of land has very little to do with how many people live there. What is this song? Oh, it's Splatoon 3. Okay. It's the amount of areas you can go to expect Street Pass functionality to work. Should that not be accounted mostly for areas with people, then? By the way, because I mentioned the stats earlier, in order for an area to be considered rural, it must have 1,500 people per square mile or less. In order for an area to be considered urban, it needs 50,000 people per square mile or more. With just a pure numbers game, that's almost 50 times more people. Somewhere close to 40 to 35 times more people. And just on a pure numbers game, it makes a lot more sense to introduce something for connectivity that works best with people in these areas where there are a larger number of people, because a larger number of people means that there is a larger chance that they will interact with each other. It's based on chance, that's the problem. Okay. Find me a game that will work 100% with every person on the planet, including those who do not have access to electricity or enough money to spend on the game. Show me a video game that works for every person on Earth. Because if we want to eliminate chance, we need a game that works 100%. Perhaps chess? I don't think so. The people living on North Sentinel Island have no way to get to a store to purchase chess. I'm not saying you can't dislike that the game requires other people to finish it. And I'm not saying you can't dislike that you were unable to, that you never had a really as easy of a chance as somebody else. I'm not saying you can't think that. What I am arguing against is the idea that a company like Nintendo is not only wrong for developing a game that way, they are also foolish. Tic-tac-toe is probably more accessible than chess. I feel like you're missing the point of this thought experiment. I mean, I gave you the benefit of the doubt with... I gave you chess for the most part, but I did mean video game. You don't need the chance of running into people to finish your games like Pokemon. You do, however, in Street Pass. Yes. Why does that make it foolish? Because some people don't? Even though enough people do in order for it to be worth making an investment for. This goes back into the conversation again about not every game is going to be able to be made for every person. You know what I bet the purpose of Street Pass was? I bet that the purpose of Street Pass was to, one, reward viewers, reward fans for having the thing and bringing it everywhere, and two, since you were bringing the console everywhere, that meant that you were showing it to people. And if you were showing it to people, that might mean that other people would be interested since you're now showing it to them, and then they can share their experiences together. Do you suppose that if somebody makes a video game, that they should also be considerate of people who do not want to read, and should include a version of the game that has zero text included? Do you suppose that they should consider the people who are extremely violent and make every game allow you to hurt somebody? Do you suppose that they should include something for everyone in every game? I'm very intrigued by this thought experiment, I have to say. You are not dependent on others to finish most games. In Street Pass games, you are required, based on luck, to finish 100% a game. Yes, and in many other games, you are required to read to 100% it. You are required to read to even understand how to play the game in the first place. In other games, you're required to use your hands. Just because a game has a requirement doesn't mean that they should try to mitigate or remove it just for other people. I have games that I like that I wouldn't want them to change to accommodate every type of player. I like Donkey Kong Country, but I wouldn't want them to make the game way easier just for people who have difficulty. "86% of the world does not own a 3DS. Is the remaining 4% evenly spread out across the entire world? Or are they homed in on specific sections? Do you think it is not more likely that more people who live in urban areas with easy access to technology would have a higher chance of purchasing a 3DS? Nintendo didn't even sell any of their products in places like the Middle East or South America. So those places are completely out of the question. Or how about the large number of games that only came out in English and Japanese for many, many years? That's actually something that's got a little bit more of a precedent. But because for a long time there were many games that came out that could only be gotten in English and Japanese, and if you didn't speak one of those languages, you had to learn it or you couldn't play. Some people managed, some people learned how to speak a language by playing video games. You seem really caught up on this thing about the chance of other people running in to assist you. What makes the requirement for somebody else to come into your area and assist you versus something like you need to have a plastic guitar? Or you need to have a microphone so you could speak to Pikachu. Or you need a special lens so that you can view this game in virtual reality. What makes those requirements different from yours? The plastic guitar is a one-time purchase and you can finish the game. But getting friends to join you is free if they already have the 3DS. And if you have enough of them, don't worry. Street Pass Plaza games, these things. Mindless cheap games made to kill time. Wait, you agree with Celeste? All right, then I guess we're done. GG, Celeste, you made a good argument. Celeste just said what you already said. No, I'm pretty sure that Celeste disagrees with you. Debate club paid off. They let a cat into the debate club. Well, as far as I can tell, the discussion essentially boils down to the question of how many people should a developer make their games for? And is it unfair to include a game that excludes some people? Honestly, I'm just enjoying myself having the discussion. I also don't think that this is a question that has a real answer. Games are cheap and bad, but they cost money, and I can't finish them due to Nintendo lacking. Okay, so you have buyer's remorse. Yes? You regret buying these games. Some of them you regret, but not all. You don't regret buying all of the Street Pass games. This is a development I wasn't expecting. Pardon me. What should I start with? Yeah, let's do this. They can't be finished effort if you don't... Yes! And you're totally okay to be angry at that. And that's something that you're totally fine to be upset by. That is totally within your right as a consumer who purchased these products to be disappointed that it's not what you expected or wanted. But the argument you presented to me was that the invention of these games is arrogance. It's foolishness. It is the result of a company, or at least a group of developers, who did not think. And my point that I argue is that there were more than enough people to be included in order for that game to be made and for it to not be incredibly restrictive. They didn't think. How do you know? How do you know that they did not think? That's been the question that's been bugging me this whole time. How did you know that they do not weigh the pros and cons of each option? How did you know that they did not consider that some people may be unable to finish it? How did you know that upon looking at what they had, they decided that it was worth it to keep going anyway? What are you making, Nick? Oh, well, I'm doing a Christmas comic. I need a new border. I think I messed up this one. Huh, it is messed up. Let's go for 30, methinks. They didn't think about... You keep telling me they did not think. But how do you know? What evidence is there to show me, within the game itself or from a developer interview or anything, that says that they did not know that this would happen? They did not consider this option and decided to do it foolishly believing that this game would run in perpetuity. Where... I want to know, how did you know? How do you know that they also didn't develop with the intent of it being a limited thing, only for groups of people who were in these areas? How do you know that they didn't create these games for these people? Yes, you can only meet this by seeing other people. Yes, we are past... That's a given, that these games require other people to function, right? We are past that part. Yes, you know... How do you know they did not consider these options? How do you know that these things were not thought out? How do you know that that wasn't the point? How do you know that they didn't consider it a novel idea and that they knew it wouldn't last forever? I want to see proof of their foolishness, is what I'm asking for. The proof is in the pudding. You can't just say that the evidence is self-evident. Okay, hold on. If you played the game, you would know. I have played these games. I've played the original batch of Street Pass games. I have my own 3DS. I got it back in 2011. I understand how these games work. I never finished any of them. I never went out to meet people. These games weren't designed for people like me. It was designed for somebody who's a lot more active. Somebody who's a lot more upfront, outgoing, willing to meet people. Somebody who passes by a lot of other people who also have similar interests. People who go to conventions. People who go to gaming meetups. People who go to just see their friends and they all bring their 3DSs and have a good time together. This is from Scratch and Melody. It was designed as a cheap gimmick to make the 3DS seem better than it is. That's a different argument. That is a different argument. You can argue that it was made on the cheap. You can argue that it was made quickly. And I may not even disagree with you. But how do you know that it was foolishly made? Just because something was made quickly and cheaply. I'm trying to get into your headspace. I'm trying to figure out, how do you know that this game was made foolishly? That they did not consider its repercussions? How do you know? They didn't bring Street Pass to the Switch. The Switch was made 7 years, was released 7 years after the 3DS. How does the lack of Street Pass on the Switch prove that they were not thinking? How does it prove that it was an option made with little thought? Maybe when they were developing the Switch, they felt as though the Street Pass was incongruent because enough people would use it strictly as a home console only. Are you going to be playing Doki Doki during your marathon, Celeste? You forgot about that one? You're literally playing the music right now. Not much point. If I could play the Plus version somehow, I would, but your Lite wouldn't work with an Elgato. Isn't it also on Steam? The Lite, the Plus version? Nope. Oh, okay. Oh, well, there you go. You could get it there, I guess. Personally, when it comes to games that ask you to mess around with the files on your computer, I prefer one shot. Christmas countdown. It's 6 days to go before Christmas. It's 7 days. It's next Sunday. It's 7 days. Wow, Christmas. Just a week away. I'm so happy to hear about this information. Darian hasn't finished the original yet. Maybe I'll set up Parsec and have him play. That's a good option. This is weird music for Pokemon. It reminds me of Ruby Gloom. That's right, I'm so happy on next Sunday. Oh, well, good, I'm glad Noelito Angeles is very excited. It's good. We could all use that kind of excitement. I mean, let me tell you, as time goes on, you get less excited about things. I'm okay. Boobamara! I love that song. That and Zergalilai. Those are my favorite songs from the game. Wait a minute. I said Boobamara. I'm gonna sneeze. Ay, ay, ay. Excuse me. You know what, Celeste? Now that we've spent some time away from Generation 7. Now that we've spent some time from Generation 7, what's your opinion on it? Do you think that Sun, Moon, Ultra Sun, and Ultra Moon are good successors to the franchise? Do you think it was a good place to leave the National Dex stuck at? Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon is bad. Sun, Moon is the best. Wow, that is very intriguing. I've never heard that opinion before. Tell me more. Being sarcastic? No, I've never heard anybody say Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are worse than Sun and Moon. You don't really care for how sloppily Necrozma is topped on top of Lusamin's character. I see. Ay, I didn't include a new layer. Team Star came very close to topping Skull. Is Gladion still your favorite Pokemon character? Alright, let's read this. I'm intrigued. You have my attention. Sonic Drift actually suck? It's not the worst racing game out there, but it certainly ain't the best. Alright, let me read this. Nintendo is foolish because its viability is almost existent even in urban areas now. A Redditor went to NYC a year ago and he visited the Nintendo store and didn't get one Street Pass. Therefore, many Street Pass games purchased will likely never be able to complete it. Unlike many other 3D games that can be completed long after the 3DS eShop is down, Street Pass was a neat gimmick when it was released, but it can't be used to finish games anymore. Why does that make them foolish? Why do you suppose that this isn't intentional? Do you suppose it is not functioning as they intended it to function? You suggest they let the games die forever? Yes. I 100% believe that they intended for this game to eventually run its course and finish. Nintendo is known for doing such things. Run its course and never be able to complete it? Yes. Yes, I do. That's anti-consumer. But it isn't foolish. Maybe you'd be surprised at the amount of anti-consumer policies that lots of companies engage in. But it's not just Nintendo. It's foolish from a goodwill perspective. Ah, but they don't make games out of the goodness of their hearts. No one does. Maybe Sonic Team? Why, because they don't make any money? Many of these games completely long after the system dies. Sure. Many games can be completed long after the system dies. The Street Pass games just aren't the ones that they designed to do that. Because Nintendo hates us. Their service ran its course. Do you find it difficult to believe that a company like Nintendo would prefer their older systems to die and that they would rather you buy their newest console instead? Gosh, you want to talk about Sega's stupid decisions? Basically everything from after the Sega CD came out can just be one giant, like, what were you thinking? Nintendo didn't consider its post-system death viability. No, they didn't. But that wasn't because they were stupid. That was intentional. What is this song, anyway? this music for Shadow? It's an unused check for Shadow. How did I know? It does sound like it would be, yeah. Ah. My conclusion to my TED Talk, Nintendo sucks. I feel like I had an argument for over an hour and nothing really was gained. Oh well. So terminally online, it hurts. You going until 6 because I started late? I don't see why not. Are you that excited to see more of my artistic genius at work? Because I don't blame you if you aren't. Well, I'm glad somebody likes to see what I make. Sims music, let's go! Oh, this is Undertale, never mind. Well, I was hoping it was that one Sims song. Oh boy. Alright. I'm not going to shade the whole thing, I just wanted to have a separation between the front of the box and the next part of it. Let me just put in Kristoff's teeth. I'll take it. Oh, I love this song. Let me see. What's a good song to... What's a good thing to talk about? If I was a Pokemon, which one do you guys think I would be? Finn is in hero form. Really? I don't like... That's Palafin. I don't like Palafin. Turtwig. Turtwig, that's an unusual one. Hold on, I gotta look at Palafin closely, because I'm pretty sure Palafin... Yeah, what the heck? Why this thing? A dolphin. Yeah, it is. Does this song say, "Get ready to die"? I love this song. It's so chill compared to the other songs. And a little somber. You gotta have a little bit of somberness. You know what I mean? Let me go get some reference materials. Sorry, Puggy, can't play that one. That's someone's cover. I'll get hit for that. It's from a Vivo channel. Kind of tells you everything you needed to get. This sounds like a theme song for a cartoon. It's not from a Vivo. It is. The channel said Vivo. Pentatonix Vivo, right there. It didn't on YouTube. Because you both remind me of Popeye. Palafin reminds you of Popeye? Huh. Well, that's not what I was expecting at all. I do not like the Pokemon I like unsubscribed. That's it, buddy. You're really getting me peeved. Why don't we argue about it for 2 hours instead? That seems to be a good thing to do. Are you a Pokemon person or a Pokemon person? Or are you like me and the early anime that says Pokemon? I would, but then I have to explain why real dolphins are bad. Ha! Ha! You know why dolphins are so evil? It's because they're intelligent. Any creature that has reached a sufficient level of intelligence has the capacity for evil. And I think that's the most crazy thing about it. That's why crows are so sinister. A group of crows is called a murder. Hey, if I were to get in The Sims, which one would you recommend I start with? You saying vaguely threatening and ominous things to crows, knowing they'll fly off somewhere and repeat them to strangers? Are you confusing crows with mockingbirds? Oh, no. I'm looking at the channel this Do It Better song is from. Can't play that. Sorry. Just stick to video game music. Supernatural Sim try to learn how to skate. They will not learn the skill because the skate animation doesn't work. They just run around the rink and don't build skill. But 3 has those awesome mods. I saw Joel Vinesauce play them. That they do. Honestly, if you like the cartoony style of Sims, you probably enjoy 2 or 4 the best. 4 is so expensive, though. I do have The Sims 1, actually, on a CD. but I don't have any way to play it. Because my computer doesn't have a CD drive. Two doesn't work on modern PCs. Isn't it on Steam or something? You torrented it? Yeah, they do. I mean, if they were, you know, there's only so much you can do if somebody refuses to let you pay for something with money. Why would you torrent a free game? Version of Windows refuses to open the thing. Well, you know, do you know anything about, like, making your games, like, optimized to work on modern consoles? There's, like, a whole thing you gotta do with them. Well, you know that computers come with what's called compatibility mode. Essentially, your computer can pretend that it is an older system, and a lot of games work if you do that, but this one might not. So you know you got to try, and then there also may be things you can download that allow you to run old games like that. Let them have it even though he's not gonna play it again. I see. Do. Doesn't even know how to play games, but he insists on keeping the consoles he bought. It's... Among Us. You gotta use the jazz remix. Hold on. Among Us Big Band. Okay, let me show you. Actually, alternatively, I could show you this. Let me play that from the start again. What's that video called? It's just Skullgirls, it's Big Band, so... Man, Brawl really did try very hard to make it seem like it was the be-all and end-all of Smash Bros. Back then, huh? I mean, the Latin alone. Subspace Emissary was so awesome. I do miss Subspace Emissary. I love all the Brawl remixes in that game, actually. Oh, it loops? No, no. When it loops, it, like, that's not good. Seeing so hype when Sonic jumped in at the end. Oh my gosh, Sonic jumping in at the very end of the Subspace Emissary is great. I remember picking him because I was like, well, the game clearly wants me to pick him. And then it's like, wow, I'm actually really bad at this. Oh, I remember what I have to do. Let's see. Let me try. Alright, you know what? Actually, we're not gonna do that. Well, we don't need it for these. There we go. Is this like the Lucamine comic? Oh, yeah. Oh, I love this song. The Home Depot. Well, it's a song that they use in advertising, and there's a bunch of memes of it, so it should be fine. I don't think I need to explain what this song is. Copyright claim for singing the State Farm song. Yeah, that'll teach you. A little bit of Bowser in there. Hate Twitter for selling me on Luigi Bowser unironically. That once that clip of the Super Mario Brothers movie came out, it was never the same. How dare they ruin me like this? Look, the only person who did that to you was yourself. Like, that's really your own fault, you know? Was the Zelda Ganon fan comic not enough for you animals? No. Ghostface Playa. Who's Ghostface Playa? When does the AI portion start? Oh, well. Cool, I guess. I thought this was going to be the Zelda theme. What's your opinion on AI software for art? Well, the AI space in terms of AI creating art is very new. I'm not against the idea of an AI being used to help generate prompts or create things in general, but I'm very disheartened that a lot of people's artwork are being placed into these programs without any knowledge or consent. There's a guy who made a book that was created using AI-generated artwork. And it looks bad. Oh, this song. I see. Why did this song have Big Smoke in it? Really showing to know that even AI cannot draw hands. They can't draw hands, they can't draw hair, they create things out of thin air sometimes. It's hold on. Man creates book using AI art. Let me see if I can find... Here's a picture of it. Take a look at this book. Take a look at those hands. Take a look at that desk. There is none. You know, just from a look over here, I feel like this is the guy's fault too, because he could have totally picked better art to use. This hand is horrendous. I would never pick that. This computer is missing like an entire back area here. It's not clear if this is a keyboard or if this is a closed laptop. This desk has no top to it, which apparently should be visible from this angle but isn't. The iris is bleeding into the rest of the eye. The nose is shaded in a completely different style and does not follow the curve of the face. Her neck is weirdly long. The shirt appears to blend into the hair, with little pieces of it coming off here and there. And there's no chair. And the curls stop at the top. Also, and of course, the AI can't generate the same looking character every single time either. For example, look at this one. This is like a completely different design with a different art style. And it still can't do hands. And this building, there are lines coming out of it from nowhere. There's look at the shape on the underside of this robot too. The mouth is not a curve. It doesn't follow the shape. Look at this line over here. Look at the shape on the underside. The lighting is off, and it's not... I don't know what this is. This leg is really awkward looking and sticks out like a sore thumb. It's just... these are the pitfalls that I find with AI art. Not least of which the fact that... not least of which is the people who, not the least of which is, what's going on with using other people's art. It's saddening. What's it called? Alice and Sparkle. Are there any more pictures? But yeah, that's just my take on it. That's where I am. That's where my opinions lie. You know what my favorite song in Sonic 06 is? It's still Crisis City. That and the one song that's just a rip-off of the Mega Man theme. The one mission theme. Yes, okay, we're good. let me see here. Oh yes, I was looking for that one song. Sonic 06 Mission Theme Quick Man. There it is, Town Mission 4. Here's the song. Let me turn this up because I want you to hear the similarities. Get back to reading the Archie comics soon? Why? You only hurt yourself. Every page you read is just another chance for it to go Saucy hurt herself in her confusion. There's no lore Bible on this video yet. Paid all that money for the Avatar Spilleroo made me. Gotta use him sometime. That's true. That's true. Do you like the original version of this song or the new or the in-game version? In-game is better. Let me see here. Yeah, the in-game version's got a lot more energy in it, doesn't it? Now this sounds like Sims music, but it's not. Oh, this sounds like that one Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared song. Memories, that's it. Memories. Memories of the way he... Yeah. I can't remember the lyrics, except for the part where he's like, memories about the way he said, I couldn't join the military. Far too weak. Or the one where it's like, the ways he talked about the military. They're invincible! Duck Guy is pretty great. I do like him. Memories. The curry, he left it in the fridge. Oh, sorry, that's gone bad. It's gone off. My favorite sequence is when all three of them are like fighting after the computer leaves. I'm dealing with it. Channel 4 is known for canceling. Wasn't it on Netflix? Channel 4. It's on my Netflix. Oh. Hold on. Yeah. But it is on Netflix. That's where I saw it. At least I'm pretty sure it was on Netflix. I have to say, I'm disappointed with Holoska's music. Because it doesn't feel like music you'd hear from that region of the world. What region was it again? It's like, it's got Inuit, but the name sounds Russian. So it's like Alaska. Let me, I think there's something I forgot. The heck is this on? This looks really tight. Like, it's very cramped. Let me look. Yeah. Alright, hold on. Pokemon of this gen? I like Tinkaton. I like Mousehold. I like Great Tusk. Although Tinkaton supposedly kills Corviknight, but its two typings are weak to Corviknight. Or rather, it's one, it's weak to Corviknight, and its other typing doesn't do anything to help. I like Skeledirge. Oh, I like Mousehold. It's really funny. You aren't even notified when it evolves. When you check your party and kids, and it has kids suddenly, you're like, what? Wait, when? And then, you know, and then you have it population bomb everything. Protag Girl's gonna be fairest to carry around a Pikachu? I don't know. Maybe? Maybe not. I think she is, because Pikachu wasn't allowed to evolve because he's the mascot. But is the girl the main character, or is the boy? Assume the girl because she's more front and center on the promo. Well, we don't know for sure, I guess. She's got a hair clip, looks like Ash's first cap. She does. Born on an island in the Knuckles. Harder than Knuckles, best of them, rougher than Knuckles, you can call me Knuckles. Unlike Knuckles, I don't chuckle. I'd rather flex my knuckles, I'm hard as Knuckles, it ain't hard to chuckle. I break them down whether they knuckle or chuckle. Unlike Knuckles, and Independence is my first chuckle. It's here my knuckles, then my knuckle chuckle. Oh no. Except literally the first thing you see Knuckles do in Sonic 3 is chuckle after he kills you. It's like the spaghetti version of Lose Yourself. I have no such things as weak spots. Bro, your whole body's a weak spot. If you don't have any rings, you die. This is really bad color. Let me pick a better color. What does he mean, cleanse yourself of evil spirits? I don't know. Maybe he is a priest. Oh, that looks better. Unlike Sonic, I don't chuckle. Instead, I spread the word of God. Can I get an amen? Amen. Can I get an amen? The new porcupine on the block with the buff chest. I love that line. It's not a very good rap. I mean, it's got very little rapping actually in it, you know what I mean? His Adventure 2 rap actually sounds more like a rap, even though it's supposedly a remix of the same song. Better than Pumpkin Hill? Maybe. I don't know. Let me change Nick's eyes. I'm not liking how they look. Oh, that's much better. See, my character's eyes should be ovals, not circles. Thanks, Sonic. I'm glad I could get your assistance on this one. Thank you, Fleetway Sonic, specifically. Let me try something. I'm gonna watch Sonic Prime later tonight. Though I've seen that Jacksepticeye is in it. The animation of Rouge is hanging upside down from nothing. Guess that means it sucks. I always thought the animation didn't look great, but it's Sonic, so you're contractually obligated to watch it. Yeah, true. I'm not a huge fan of this song either. I actually like the SA2 version of the Tails theme because it sounds a lot more interesting. Bow, 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 bow. Alright, let's get Nicole. Let's see if I can get Nicole done before time's up. I'm gonna dip early because your cousin's home, but it's fun. Alright. Well, when I'm done here, I'm probably gonna have to finish this tomorrow. But it'll be nice to do that. Maybe we will end it here. I mean, I apparently seem to have suddenly felt very, weak. Like I need to eat something. Well, that's gonna be it for me then. We've gone almost all the way, but that's fine. Right? So, that's gonna be all from me for today. If you guys liked anything you saw, feel free to follow on the Discord and join me next time. Tomorrow we'll be continuing this picture and hopefully finishing it. Let's hope, huh? So, I'll see you guys later. Have yourselves a very good night, and